This is my hammock as part of my Scout project theme. Well, whenever I started this hammock, I got into a lot more than I figured I was going to. It took, well, I'm going to say probably about 3 failed attempts and several YouTube videos later for me to figure out how to actually start making this. And what I set out to design was a hammock that you couldn't roll out of easily, like one that you could spend the night in and not worry about falling out. Well, I certainly succeeded in that. In fact, I made it so hard to roll out of, it's also hard to get out of. And once you're in there, you're kind of in there until you're ready to get out. And once you're ready to get out, it takes quite the operation. Unless you're really skinny or very strong. I am neither of which. So I had to develop a little escape system. Now the system is rather complicated and I don't want to explain it all, but it involves unclipping this hook from this loop. And once you do that, it makes one of the sides fall to the ground and dumping you out of the hammock. And it's really funny to watch someone do this, but it's not funny when you're in it because it just dumps you in the ground after you've been frustrated the whole time trying to get out any other way. And then to unhook it, man, it feels like you're trying to lift yourself up with just one hand. And it takes a lot of strength. But anyway, so that's one of the effects that I had with this hammock. It's made out of paracord that's very strong, so it's able to hold a whole lot of weight. Paracord is able to hold about 500 pounds, just one strand of it, and that's where it's the working safely load. It can hold much more than that, but it's not rated to hold more. Not rated to hold much more. And I also have these big metal rings you see at either end to help distribute the weight as well. The knots I have are actually not the proper knot to use for a hammock. So these are actually the knots you'd use to make a net, that whatever you'd use a net for. And so this is more of not really a hammock, but a curved net. And so that was what I discovered after many failed attempts. And once I actually got started making this, it was really easy, just to use way more paracord than I figured. I set out with 200 feet, and I thought that was going to get me pretty well, and I thought I was going to have extra left over. It turns out I ended up using close to 800 to 1,000, literally 1,000 feet of paracord for this project. And it's probably about 7 feet long and a good 5 feet wide, like if you stretch it out widthwise. But whenever it's hanging and you're resting in it, it probably drops down a good 3 feet. And because of that, or how far it drops down, that's why it's hard to get out. It doesn't have much back support when you lean in it. So if you have a bad back, it might not be the best hammock for you. The best application I've found of this hammock is to actually use it as a gear hammock. And what I mean by that is to strap this up to a tree, between 2 trees, like you would expect a hammock to do, and then put another hammock on top of it. That other hammock is what you sleep in, and this one would rest below you to hold all your gear. So that way it keeps your gear off the ground and out of the bugs and the wet and all that. But it's a little bit too uncomfortable to sleep in yourself. Now it'll do in a pinch, but I'm sure I've never tried to sleep in it overnight, but I've tried for a couple hours. I didn't even try to go to sleep, just laying in it. And all the little knots kind of rubbing your back. And then, you have the problem of getting out. But at least I'm proud of what I did. And it's actually pretty cool. And I was the talk of the neighborhood, stringing up my hammock and working on it. And so this is one of my Scout themed projects, my hammock. Alrighty, so for demonstration purposes, I've chosen 2 different colors, and also because it looks cool. I have a gray and I have a black. So I have 5 of these, and so each have the lark's head, as you can see. Alright, now my next step is to make the actual crossing pattern. It's going to look like miniature triangles, like where they come and pinch together like so. Alrighty, so this first knot is going to be just your simple overhand knot. Alrighty, so as you can see, this paracord is kind of frayed at the end, and it will continue to fray all the way through its length, and which can be very much an issue whenever you want the paracord to not fray. And so what you do is this really simple. You end up fusing the ends together, so which means you just heat it up, catch it on fire, and it will melt. I know you guys can't quite see it that well, but you can see it there. It's on fire. You can go ahead and blow it, and it's now no longer frayed. It's got a black plastic end on the end of it. So, and it leaves a smoke odor. It smells pretty bad, but that's what happens whenever you burn plastic. So that's the main thing with paracord on fusing